Hi everyone, so it's future Rebecca here, just coming to say that this was originally meant to be just a regular weekly reading vlog where I just happened to be rereading one of my favourite series. But it didn't actually turn out that way. It ended up being a very much me just absolutely gushing over it and kind of squealing a lot. And therefore, it does include some spoilers for the series, but if you haven't read it yet, don't panic. So you can either wait until like my August wrap up goes up to get my opinions, or I will put a time up on the screen that you can skip to just to get non-spoilery thoughts and me telling you what it's about. And then if you have read these books, get ready for some squealing. And just one last thing before we get into this video is I want to give a huge shout out to my friend Shay. She is the reason I read this story. She told me that it was one of her favorites, and I was like, it sounds interesting. And I ended up loving it, and so thanks for that. And she has a booktube. She only ever posted one video though. But she also has an Instagram, which is Shay the Book Nerd. I will leave it linked down below. And I would suggest you check her out because she is just one of the most funny and lovely humans ever. And yeah, so thanks for being my friend, and thanks for introducing me to these wonderful books. Hello everyone. So today is Tuesday, and I suppose I'm welcoming you back to another weekly reading vlog. Though I did actually film yesterday, but my iPad is... so I'll get to that in a minute. But anyway, yesterday, because I've lost that footage now, I opened Unravel the Dusk by Elizabeth Lim. So I have that. I'm not going to get up and get it, but it is a beautiful cover, and I'm really excited to read it. But for now, this vlog, if I even can edit it, is about Six of Crows. I'm rereading it for the first time in 2 years. I did my reaction to like the very first like chapter and everything, and again, they're also gone. But yeah, so I'm about 64 pages in, I think. And so we've only had Kaz and Inej's perspective so far, but I'm so excited to get to the rest again. And yeah, I'm already pretty excited about it, though I'm already falling behind because to try and read the 2 books in a week, I need to be reading about 140 pages a day, and I've only read 64 yesterday. So I've got to play some catch up. But yeah, so yeah, I filmed that yesterday morning, and then I decided I would finish editing my weekly vlog, which thank goodness I did, because if I left it another while, I wouldn't have had it. So I finished editing that, and I put it on private on YouTube, and then I was just watching YouTube, and then my iPad, it went like, I don't have it with me to show you like, but it kind of looked like if you have an iPad where like the YouTube, like your subscriptions show up, like that was like a really dark blue, and then the rest of the screen was like still a pretty dark blue, but it was probably like this kind of a blue. And then like that color just moved across the screen, and then it just went black. And I tried everything. I tried, rebooting and, pressing the home and lock at the same time. And I tried plugging it into my laptop, and it didn't even register that anything was plugged in. And then using the same lead, I immediately plugged in my iPhone, and it instantly showed up that something was connected. And so, yeah, that's kind of annoying. Because the iPad I have before this one, I had for about 4 years, and it never once had a problem. And it actually still works, but my dad has it because he downloads movies on it. Like, it still works, and it's, probably 7 years old at this stage, and it doesn't update anymore. That's the only problem with it. And this one I only had for about, like a year and a half, which is still a decent amount of time, and I used it a lot, but I'm just kind of annoyed by the fact that it's gone. And I had the save one, drop one, like game kind of thing, fully filmed, and that's gone. And then I had the Nope Trope book tag fully filmed and also fully edited, and that's also gone. and so I'm kind of kicking myself for not like putting it on private on YouTube, because I thought of doing that, but I was like, no, I won't be posting it for about 2 weeks, so what's the point? And now it's gone. And then I'm left with this, and I don't know, because my phone is pretty old. It's a pretty old iPhone, and I don't have a lot of room on it, so trying to like edit on iMovies on this would be a nightmare. And then I also don't know how like the Windows Movie Maker thing works, but I'll try and do one of them, and hopefully I'll either get a new iPad soon or get my other one fixed. But yeah, so yeah, this is probably not going to be a very long vlog though, because I don't really want to be filming a lot because of the fact I don't have a lot of storage. So yeah, but I will keep you up to date on my Six of Crows progress, which, as I said, is only 60 pages in, and I am so far enjoying it. Yeah, so that's good. Otherwise, I'm still so nervous that I'm not going to like it as much as I did, but I am enjoying it so far. Hello everyone. So, it is Wednesday evening, and I haven't read anything today, but yesterday I got a good bit done. I'm about, I think, 42% in, which is to page 200. So I need to be getting to like page 400-ish if I want to kind of keep on track to even try and finish 2 of them this week. But at this point I've kind of given up on that, and I'm just gonna just read. But it is definitely picking up. I've definitely started to get more into it, and I'm really excited to be with these characters again. I feel like Wylan is a really underrated character. I adore him so much. I love him. And I don't think everyone else appreciates him as much as I do. But, which low-key spoilers coming up. But like when Kaz like reveals that, oh, this is Vanek's son, and Wyland's all embarrassed and stuff, and then Jesper's making fun of him like, oh, all your fancy tutors and your piano lessons, and Wyland just like, it was the flute. Like, I'm like, that's not helping. But I'm like, precious bean, I love you. So yeah, I love him. He's absolutely adorable. And then Kaz and Inej. Oh, we're already getting into it. Like, we're getting into it, and I'm just remembering why I love these characters. Just, yeah. So, yes, I'm hoping to get to about page 400, but I think that might be a bit ambitious. So, I love Nina and Inej's friendship. Oh, Inej doesn't realize he loves her. All of them are just so traumatized. Like, my precious, precious, precious children. Kaz literally knows Violet only a couple of weeks and is already like, yes, this is my child. He is now my child, though I'm only like a year older than him. Yes. Rereading this and getting to the part where Inej and Jesper are talking about the fact that Vanek sent Wylan letters all the time, and knowing what I know about the fact that he can't read, I'm like, what an ass. Oh my god. My poor baby deserves so much better. Every so often, you just remember how young they're supposed to be. Like, why don't you pay someone else to pay someone to burn your cruise for you? That's what the big players do. And you're like, big children. And I love it. There's just certain moments where you're like, yeah, you can see that they are young. Hello everyone. So it is now Thursday. Yesterday I read about 180 pages, which brought me up to 381 pages. So I am there, so I just have this little bit to read. So it's just over 100 pages. I think it's about 110 pages, which I should be able to do no problem. And then make a small start on Crooked Kingdom. And yeah, so that's kind of the plan. I definitely remember when I first read this that I felt that like Wylan and Jesper just came out of nowhere, but like no, it really didn't. I just obviously wasn't paying enough attention. And they are so adorable. I love them. I will say this time around, I'm definitely enjoying like Nina and Matthias and Jesper a bit more than I did the first time. I liked them the first time I read it, but just rereading it, I'm loving them even more. And I'm also loving Kaz and Inej and Wylan, but they were already like my favorites. Finished. Okay, it's definitely 5 out of 5 stars, I think. Yeah, like, I just love them all so much. Hello everyone, so it is now Friday. Yesterday I got to about page 50 of Crooked Kingdom and I've only read about 20 more pages, but number one, I have ordered a new iPad, but it won't be here until, it said sometime between the 21st and the 28th of August, so there will be no video the week that this comes out, and hopefully I'll get one out the next week, but I'm not sure. And then, yeah, right now I'm just at the part where Jesper's dad comes into it, and like, I love him. Like, he's there wearing his best coat, and I'm like, he deserves the world, and what a sweetheart. It's like Kalish, kind of supposed to be like Irish / Scottish, kind of. Or like, you know, just that kind of area, because like how Ravka is like Russian inspired, because like stereotypical, a lot of freckles from the sun. Like, I'm talking about Jesper's dad. Like, red hair, lots of freckles from being in the sun. And his name is Colm Fahey. Even though I would pronounce it Fahey, but they're pronouncing it Fahey, which I don't agree with. Okay, I looked it up, and it's saying that, yeah, the Wandering Isles, which is where Kalish people come from, is based on Ireland. So, okay. So I'm here to tell you it's Fahey, not Fahey. Hello everyone, so it is now Saturday, and yeah, let's just say the reading has taken a big because, so I read a good bit yesterday. I read about 136-ish pages, I think, and I'm up to page 186, but I have 400 pages left, and it is 7:30, and so I would need to read like 200 pages today. And 200 tomorrow to try and finish this in a week, which I think is a bit ambitious, and honestly I'm not even sure I'm going to read anything at all today because I'm currently watching BookTube. So yeah, whoops. But yeah, I don't know, I'm trying anyway. So yeah, I think I'll extend it to Monday and finish it then. One of the things I like about Wylan's perspective is that it kind of gives a more human kind of view on Van Eyck, but it's kind of weird because like Wylan is like, he's my dad, he was trying to, you know, protect me, or what. You and Wylan also kind of realize, no, he just really is a bad guy, and I really like that, and it just shows how naive poor Wylan was, and I just love him. Hello, so it is now Sunday, and yeah, so yesterday I actually did read a small bit. I only read about 80 pages though, and I am about 300 pages from the end, so I'm literally halfway through, and it's only about half 3. So if I put every single bit of my effort into reading, I could finish it towards the end of the day. But I think I'm gonna just admit defeat and say bye. So I'll try and read another 150 pages and then read the other 150 tomorrow. Because I don't want to be like putting a lot of pressure on myself and then end up like skim reading it. I'm reading it this time. I've been just like putting all my concentration in on it, and I have been enjoying it. So I'm gonna keep going that way. So yeah. We met Zoya, which the first time I read this, I actually hadn't read the original Grisha trilogy. So, like, Zoya and Genya, they had no, like, I had no idea who they were. And so, I now know who they are, I guess. I don't really love either of their characters, though, anyway, so it's not as though it's, like, a big deal to me. But it's just like, okay, I now know who you are. So, yeah. So I think I'm going to read for a little bit, and we'll see how. I don't understand how Pekka Rollins figured out Kaz's plan. Like, it makes no sense. He's just like, oh, I thought what I'd do if I was younger and more stupid. And I'm like, how would you be able to figure out all 3 parts? It doesn't make sense. But, I mean, this is a book about like 16 and 17-year-olds doing an impossible heist and stuff, so I suppose it's not the most realistic anyway, so I guess we just go with it. When Kaz calls Jasper Jordy. Jasper's dad is the only person Kaz has ever listened to. Okay, I think I'm on the chapter that has like one of my favorite scenes from like either book in it. But I guess I'll get back to you. I hope I'm thinking about the right one because... Alright, I was wrong. It isn't the scene I was thinking about. But, so. Also, the closer and closer I get to the end of this book, the more nervous I get because I know how it ends and I don't want to. Especially, well, obviously this is a fully spoilered, but huge spoiler coming up is... So, my first time reading it, I liked Matthias, Nina, and Jesper, but I wasn't really attached to any of them. Whereas this time, those 3 characters I love a lot more than I did the first time around. And I don't want Matthias to die. And yeah, so I think his death's gonna affect me a lot more this time than it did the original time. So, that's fun. Okay, I'm now at the chapter that I was really excited for, where, like, Kaz is real ruthless. Because I thought it was a Kaz perspective, but it's actually Inej's perspective. So, whoops. So excited about it. This is the best scene in the book. I will not take criticism. When they're talking about Jordy, and Jasper's like, who was he? And Kaz is like, someone I didn't want to lose. Looking right at Jasper. I'm getting so close to the end now, and I literally just want to give up because I don't want to read. I don't want to read about Matthias' death. But also, I can't actually remember how it properly wraps up. Like, obviously, I know that, you know, everything ends up okie dokie. But I can't remember how they get there. So I have to keep reading. I really don't. It's about to happen. I don't want to read it. I'm so much more attached to him this time than I was the first time, so... It's got my eyes wet. No tears have fallen, but they're wet. Hello everyone. So, it is Sunday. It is, what time is it? 11 o'clock. So, and I finished it. Yeah, I read so much today. It's still a 5 out of 5. It's still 5 out of 5 stars. I love them. And I will talk properly about them tomorrow. Just wrap them up. So, I actually succeeded in reading the 2 of them within the 1 week, which I really didn't think that was going to happen, but it did, and I'm kind of proud of myself. And yeah, that's kind of all I have to say about that. So, now let's talk about the possibility of a third Six of Crows book. So, obviously this is the Six of Crows duology, but as you may have heard, there is talks of it being a trilogy. And I remember when I first read it about 2 years ago, there was rumors about that. That was kind of, I feel like, the first time it was kind of mentioned that there might be a third one. And I remember being so excited about this. And I was like, this is great, absolutely great, because these are my favorite, 2 of my favorite books, and I get to see more of them and all that. But now, I don't think I want a third book. And I think it might ruin it for me. It won't ruin it for me. I don't think it'll be that bad, but I'm very cautious about it. I will definitely read a third book if it comes out, because I can't help myself. But, or maybe I might just wait and see what reviews are like for it, and then read it, because this is the only series by Leigh Bardugo which I actually really thoroughly love and enjoy. I didn't care for the Grisha trilogy, I didn't care for Ninth House, and I don't really care for King of Scars either. But these books I absolutely love and adore, and so because of that, I'm not sure how I would feel about it, because obviously when I read the Grisha trilogy, I was like, oh, this is like just her first thing, so obviously it's not for me. But then Ninth House and King of Scars came out after Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom, and I didn't enjoy them either. So I'm starting to think maybe these are just the exception for Leigh Bardugo for me, I guess. And then the other thing is, I'm not sure I want to read a series without Matthias in it. Like, he's a huge part of the group, and I'm not sure I want to read a series, a continuation, that he's not going to be in. I like the way it wrapped up, but I don't really have a say in it, do I? So, I'm going to just talk about Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom, non-spoilery. You've kind of gotten my spoilery thoughts throughout the whole thing, but if you've come here looking for just opinions, well, welcome. So, this follows 6 misfits in Ketterdam, and they're kind of led by Kaz Brecker. And he has been offered an unimaginable amount of money to complete this impossible heist, and so he has the exact right team in mind, and it's just all about them getting in and out of a lot of trouble and, you know, performing this impossible heist. And I do thoroughly love and enjoy this. I gave them both 5 out of 5 stars. So it is an interesting plot, and it is often marketed as a heist story, but I'm not sure I 100% agree with it. Like, yes, at the most basic level, it is a heist story, but it is really about the characters and their relationships and their trauma and their backstories, and it is very much kind of just a character study, and I love that. I love seeing their interactions with each other, and I just adore all of them and their personalities. I loved each character more this time when I read it than I did the first time. Especially Nina, Jesper, and Matthias. I liked them, but I didn't love them when I read it the first time. But this time reading it, I just really appreciated their characters more this time. And I already loved Kaz and Inej and Wylan, but I feel like I had like a very distinct rating of the characters in my head, whereas now they're all pretty level on the playing field. But I will say my favorite character is Wylan, which I think is a very unpopular opinion. Most people choose Kaz or Inej or Nina, kind of, I feel are the most like popular ones. But yeah, Wylan is my absolute favorite, and I love him so I think I preferred the book slightly more the first time. And you will, for both of these books, Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom, you will have to suspend your like disbelief. It is not a particularly believable story, but it is a fantasy. And you know, when you look at all of these stories in YA, when they're like 17, 18-year-olds and they're doing these incredible things, it is all a bit unbelievable. And the characters are sometimes older, appear older than they actually are. But I think that is kind of just a part of it, because it's like all of these like kind of traumatic situations have forced them to grow up more than they should have. But I know that is a big problem that a lot of people have with the series, is that they feel like these characters aren't the ages they should be. They feel like they should be in like their 20s or 30s or whatever. Like, I think it's kind of more 20s. But I'm able to suspend my disbelief, I guess. And so it is a little unbelievable, but isn't all fantasy. And then Crooked Kingdom is just the continuation. It follows the direct aftermath of their heist in book 1. And so this one, it is not a heist story, but there is it's still a lot of like scheming, and it's just more of a revenge story, I would say. And I think I prefer the second one, which I think most people prefer the first one. I'm just full of unpopular opinions about this series, maybe. And so yeah, it really is so it is quite an unbelievable plot still, but again, it is just all about the characters and seeing their growth and their development and like all of their hopes and dreams and everything. And it's a story that like kind of means a lot to me. It was one of the first like really, really popular YA series that I read that wasn't like from Cassandra Clare, and I think that is why they have such a special place in my heart. And I don't think they ever won't, but I can see why they are not for everyone, but majority of people that read them do end up really enjoying them, so I would recommend you give it a try. Just go in knowing that you're going to be like, how are they doing this? So yeah, and also I'm reading this made me way more nervous for the TV show than I already was, because with the TV show I actually have hopes that it'll make Shadow and Bone better, because I really don't care for that story much, and I think the characters are quite bland. But Six of Crows, the characters are so well developed and they're so well done, and I love them all so much, and I love the story, and I think they will ruin it. I don't think they can do it justice. I do think though that they can do Shadow and Bone justice. I think they can do that well. I think that they can actually make improvements on it. So basically I'll probably just be watching all the Shadow and Bone bits and skipping over the Six of Crows bits. I'm only messing, but maybe. So yeah, that's kind of all I have to say. Just that I love these characters and I love this story. And, yeah. So I would still classify Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom as one of my favorite series. I don't think I would put it as high up as I already had it. Well, no, it's still pretty high up there, because I always say that The Infernal Devices is my absolute favorite series. And then I kind of always said that A Darker Shade of Magic and Six of Crows are tied for second, but I would probably put A Darker Shade of Magic before Six of Crows at this point. But I haven't read A Darker Shade of Magic in over a year, so we'll see, because I'm planning on rereading that in September, I think. So maybe it will change, but we'll see. So yes, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this really awkward attempt at a video, and if you did, subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!